because I feel like these two would make a potentially good connection. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lily. This is Lily's Shelf, and today we are talking about Love Island USA season 8 episodes 8 and 9, y'all. So this episode picks right up with Melanie telling Anaya that Sincere kissed Soul again. Sincere tells Bryce and Zach that they kissed multiple times. So you see how Sincere once again is lying to these girls, and that he's still feeling both Melanie and Soul, even though he says he likes that Soul is chasing him instead of all the chasing that he has to do with Melanie. Not Sincere likes being treated like the prize. Oh no. Trinity tells Bryce she needs more affection. I don't feel like Bryce is hearing that, because whatever. Gabe pulls Bea and lets her know that he talked to Jen and Soul and he ended up kissing both of them. Bea is upset by this. I feel like Gabe wanted Bea to be like, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling me. No, I do also feel like Gabe low-key wanted Bea to be jealous. Bea is upset though, so she talks to Trinity and Kata and tells them that Gabe kissed both of the bombshells, and the girls are shook. Meanwhile, the guys think that it's funny that Gabe kissed both of the bombshells. He does say that Jen's kiss was better. Bea ate when she said, I compete for medals, not men, period. But then she says she typically goes for red flag men. Everything's making sense now. But then Melanie and Kenzie walk over to, share in this girl chat. And so Melanie starts speaking in Spanish, I believe. But she's saying how, Sincere also kissed Soul. And so, the girls are, screaming and talking and chatting and stuff. And the boys are looking stressed because it's like, what are y'all? What's happening over there? Oh Lord. Melanie is upset. I do like that in this conversation she was more upset with Sincere than Soul, because Soul is a bombshell. She's just doing what she's supposed to be doing. So the next day, everyone's gossiping. Caleb makes breakfast for the bombshells, but not Kenzie. At first I thought it was a smart choice, but then I'm like, I feel like he should have made breakfast for the bombshells, and well, maybe that was too much. Trinity, Kenzie, and Anaya talk. Kenzie says that it's weird juggling two connections. Trinity wants to know where Bryce's head is at, and she tells the girls that she wants more affection, and Trinity isn't sure what else to do, how else to communicate that, because Bryce is not giving her much of anything. Meanwhile, Bryce is talking to Zach about his connection to Trinity, and after this conversation I don't really like Bryce anymore, because he makes it seem like Trinity was wrong for expressing that she wanted more affection from him. In his confessional later, he's going to try and spin it like it's a maturity thing, like he knows how to pursue these women, but clearly he doesn't. Because we've seen him give Trinity compliments and words of affirmation, but he's not planning any cute dates, he's not being touchy-feely, he's not holding her hand, he's not tucking some hair behind her ear when they talk, moving a little flyaway out of her forehead. He's not, or trailing his hands up and down her arm when they talk. He's not giving any physical touch, which is what Trinity is asking for. But I don't know. Soul and Jen say they feel like everybody is closed off. I do agree. I feel like a lot of these core cast members do act in a way that makes it seem like they're closed off, even though they'll say that they're open. Soul says that she feels Sincere the most and that they're enamored with each other. Ooh. Sincere and Melanie talk again. Sincere says talk to me while you're stressed. That got on my nerves. That got on Melanie's nerves too, because why I'm upset. So Melanie is working herself up because she's getting more and more upset. The way Sincere low-key looked like he wanted to laugh, that got on my nerves. This girl is genuinely upset because of the lies that you keep telling her, Sincere. Because Sincere will be in Melanie's face saying one thing, and then he'll go to Soul and say something completely different. I hate that for both of them. He says to Melanie he's not gonna keep kissing Soul. Melanie asks Sincere if he wants to continue to explore. Sincere says no, and I don't understand that, because why not just be honest and open? Because Melanie and I are both confused, because there's obviously a connection there. But Sincere says that he's gonna work with Melanie to fix their connection, whatever. Casey and Anaya are talking, and I feel like since Soul hasn't pulled Casey for chats, he's talking about how he and Anaya are good. Anaya's kind of like, I'm kind of over it. I feel like Casey likes her, but I also feel like Casey kind of sort of wants to explore Soul. Sincere pulls Soul for a chat. Melanie peeps it. Meanwhile, Sincere and Soul go to Soul Ties again. So while Sincere and Soul are all cuddled up in Soul Ties, Melanie gets up to go find them because she just wants to talk to Sincere, because at this point it's obvious that he's lying to her face and she wants some answers. So do I. So that's why I kind of wanted her to go up there, but Melanie does stop to talk to, so it's at this point that Melanie stops to talk to Zach and Kata. Both of them tell her that Sincere is in Soul Ties. That's messy, but they do kind of tell her, let him explore. It's not going to be to anybody's benefit if you go and pull him for a chat right now. He's not going to be very receptive. Sincere and Soul kiss again after he just told Melanie he wasn't going to continue kissing this girl. And then he says that his perfect scenario would be having both Melanie and Soul. What an unsurprising thing to say. Kenzie and Caleb have another good chat. Melanie pulls Corbin for a chat, which I like. Yes, girl. Because I feel like these two would make a potentially good connection. Corbin asks if he can get a kiss. Corbin, is that your one boo? But Melanie says no, because she wants to talk to Kenzie first about her potentially pursuing Corbin. Corbin does say that her denying him a kiss makes him want it more. Corbin hang it up. Meanwhile, keep in mind, while all this is going on, Sincere and Soul are still talking. So Melanie is trying to stay cool, but you can tell she's starting to get upset because his actions aren't matching his word. Melanie asks if she should pull him. I do like that Casey kind of stepped in and was like, no, that's not a good idea. Let's not do that, because they were on the little lounge chairs. And so because Melanie had asked Anaya, and Melanie was basically going to go up there and kind of confront him, okay, are you interested in her or not? Why won't you just tell me that you want to pursue both of us? And I wish that they would have let her, because again, Sincere is telling both of these women two very different things. But Casey does stop her from going up to Soul Ties, and so Melanie goes back down to sit on the lounge chairs. And by this point, she's upset because apparently Sincere and Soul have been talking for over an hour. That would frustrate anybody. That would definitely frustrate me, because you're telling me you're not interested in continuing to explore this girl. You're not gonna kiss her again. You're gonna try and fix and work things out with me, and yet here you are over an hour in Soul Ties with somebody else. Absolutely not. So Bea comes to comfort Melanie because at this point she's getting visibly upset. She's tearing up. Bea, I don't like how Bea and Anaya were trying to take the approach that be confident in the connection that you have, because Melanie was me. She was like, I'm not. Because exactly, why would I be confident in the connection that I have with Sincere when this is how he's acting? Absolutely not. And I wish that they would have just said, you know what, after everything that you just told us, forget him. Don't even try to pursue him anymore. You need to start looking at talking to Caleb, talking to Corbin. I don't know about any of the other guys, but for sure talking to Caleb and Corbin, because they were both bombshells. Talk to them, see what else is out there for you. Bea talks to Corbin. It's kind of dead, not even gonna lie. And then somehow or another, Kenzie finds out about the almost kiss between Corbin and Melanie. Now she's upset. Now she's hot. The chemistry between Bryce and Zach, insane. So it's nighttime now. Everybody's getting ready. Kenzie pulls Melanie to talk. Melanie tells Kenzie everything that happened about, the almost kiss, but she denied it because she wanted to talk to Kenzie first. In this conversation, I don't like that Kenzie was saying, well, you're not even trying with Sincere. Not crash out every 2 seconds, Melanie. I know you. That really turned me off of Kenzie. And quite honestly, after watching these latest episodes, I haven't been back on her side since, because what are you talking about? Bryce says to somebody that there may be something with Kata for him. No, there isn't, babes. So Bryce pulls Zach to talk about him potentially pursuing Kata. Zach laughs out loud in this man's face, and it takes him a minute to realize that Bryce is serious. But this is the consequences of Zach's own actions, because Zach has been all up in Bryce's ear talking about how Trinity doesn't get his jokes. Bryce looks like he's having more fun with Zach and Kata. Trinity doesn't seem to really like him. Meanwhile, Trinity has said that she actually likes this man, and Bryce seems to actually really like her. So Zach being messy for no reason is getting on my nerves, but look at what he's done. Because he has sown seeds of doubt in Bryce's mind, Bryce is now trying to look around the villa to see what other options he may have. Kata absolutely is not one of them, but hey. Trinity asks Gabe if Bryce likes her because she just isn't sure where he stands, and Gabe says no, like he really likes you, he's feeling you. Bryce pulls Trinity for a chat, and this is where he tells her that he is going to pull Kata for a chat. And keep in mind, Trinity and Kata are very close. So Trinity is justifiably irritated by this. I don't know how Bryce thought that this was gonna go, but it doesn't go well because Trinity is upset. The man that she likes is trying to go talk to her best friend in the villa. So then they walk in opposite directions. Oh, that's where the episode ends. So we pick right up at episode 9. This preview was wild. So Sincere pulls Melanie for a chat at the end of the night. I'm irritated. Sincere starts talking. I didn't take many notes because the more he kept talking, the more irritated I became. Because you want to have your cake and eat it too. And so at some point, Melanie is asking, like, you keep kissing this girl, why? And Sincere is like, well, I'm just trying to see if the chemistry is there. And Melanie is like, obviously the chemistry is there, you keep kissing her. So Melanie wants to know what the plan is, because Sincere is essentially breadcrumbing her at this point. And Sincere is like, what plan? He talks around a plan, he has parameters of a plan, but Melanie's like, look, I just need to know how to move, because the way that you're moving right now is absolutely diabolical. They agree that they're going to explore, but they're not going to kiss. So once again, Sincere is telling Melanie he's not going to keep kissing Soul. Corbin was cracking me up when he said that his communication is good, people just don't listen. I feel like that's a common theme in this villa this season. I don't know. And once again, Kenzie is mad about an almost kiss, but she's been out here kissing out here kissing Caleb. Zach talks to KC about Bryce pulling Kata. They both crack up because again, nothing is here. So Bryce pulls Kata for a chat. Kata's like, oh, well, I was actually just about to make a grilled cheese. My girl is irritated because she wanted that grilled cheese and now she has to go talk to this man that she has no chemistry with. When Kata says that she's cold and Bryce is like, should I grab a blanket? Boo. Boo. I wish Zach honestly had offered like a jacket or something, because I'm pretty sure he was wearing one, or Bryce could have offered a jacket or something. Sincere picks Melanie up after their conversation. Again, this is just another instance of him breadcrumbing her, because I think this is where Melanie is kind of like, you know, I got my man back. Soul looks irritated now because again, Sincere has been talking a good game in Soul's ear too. So I just don't like Sincere anymore. I'm sorry. Trinity pulls Zach and asks how he feels about Bryce and Kata talking. Bryce, meanwhile, is telling Kata how he would just like to see if something is there. Kata tells him respectfully there is not. But while Trinity and Zach are talking, I thought it was very interesting that Zach never once brought up the fact that low-key he is the reason for this. He never once told Trinity that he is her secret op, that he's the one that's been feeding Bryce little lines and little digs about Trinity to make Bryce start doubting his and Trinity's connection. Zach talks to Kata after her conversation with Bryce. They get back on the same page. Bryce is obviously in the doghouse with Trinity because this was dumb. This was dumb. You put your connection in danger for play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Exactly. Kenzie and Corbin are kissing in the bed again. So Kenzie, you can't be too upset about his almost kiss with Melanie, clearly. Sincere made food for both Melanie and Soul. The way even the guys are like, I don't know if I would have done that, big dog. I didn't take a lot of notes on like the later half of this episode, but they do end up playing a game where it wasn't sweet and salty, but it was like maybe naughty or nice or something like that, where if you ask a good question, the girls and the guys will kind of huddle up together and pick somebody, and then they'll kiss whoever they picked. If it's a naughty question, then the person will get pied. The main thing of this challenge was that I feel like it was an opportunity for some of the girls to get back at the guys, but I also feel like it was an opportunity for Soul to be targeted, because Bea in her confessional does say that some of the pies that went to Soul should have gone to Melanie, but we only saw Soul get pied like 2 or 3 times. But after the last pie that Zach does, he did it pretty hard. I'm not even gonna lie, like Soul was covering her face and Zach still really put his whole arm into that motion to pie her, and Soul was just upset, like to the point where she starts crying and walks off. And I really don't like that KC was the only one to really offer some sort of comfort. I wish that he would have hugged her in that moment, because it looked like Soul just needed a hug from somebody. Honestly, like Jen, well, she did eat that one little thing where she said that Sincere may be honest, but he's not being sincere. Jen, you ate that one little thing, because otherwise you're giving houseplant. When Soul gets upset and walks off, I don't understand why Jen, as her fellow bombshell, didn't go and comfort her at least. You know what I mean? Because they've been talking. You know, all the bombshells, her, Soul, and Caleb have been talking together. So like clearly they have some sort of relationship. I don't understand why nobody comforted Soul in that moment. And I kind of wish that we would have seen more of the game, because in the confessionals we saw some people who had pie still in like their hair or on their chest or something, but we didn't see them get pied. But we saw all the speeches. I don't understand that. This is also the episode where we get introduced to our new After Sun hosts. They were Teffy and Sierra. I've seen the clips of Summer House, so I was very excited to see Sierra. She was stunning. I'm not familiar with Teffy, but she was also stunning. So I don't know if I'll do the After Sun reviews, because Love Island main episodes are already so much, but just know that episode 9 was also where America's Boat came in, and they got to pick who the bombshell should go for. So in this recoupling, Caleb and Kenzie get paired up together. Gabe and Jen get paired up together because Gabe was playing in Bea's face for being all up on Jen. And Soul and Sincere get coupled up together before Melanie gets up, because, you know, now that means that Corbin, Bea, and Melanie are single and vulnerable. Sincere is whispering in Melanie's ear, like, you know, we'll make it work, we'll figure something out, we'll get through this, because Melanie's upset that her couple with Sincere just got broken up. So all the bombshells go sit down with their new couples, everybody else stays where they are. And now Corbin, Bea, and Melanie are vulnerable, but then Ariana tells Corbin that he can save one of these girls. He saves Melanie because of the obvious chemistry between these two, which means that Bea goes home. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, Bea was starting to grow on me. I was starting to get really fond of her, so I'm really upset that she's leaving. But that was the end of episode 9. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.